morning. This is our winter storm that blew in last night. Right now it's 10 degrees and a minus 11, I think they said, with the wind chill. It's just giving you a little look of what we got. This is just kind of an idea of what happens in a winter storm. We're supposed to be in the single digit and teens for a couple weeks now almost. At the sidewalk plowed. I got my snow blower out. I actually do 2 blocks both sides of the streets, and then there's a church up around that corner that I actually do too. Hey there, it's just another look outside. Kind of frigid up here. I could say there's my shuttle bus trying to work on. This type of weather, a little cold. Like I say, right now out here we're, I don't know, 9 or 10 degrees with minus, I don't know, 11, 12 I heard. But I got my little heater on in the shuttle bus. It's electric heater, so I don't get moisture in there. Don't want to do that, cause more problems. So I'll just give it some time, go and have some breakfast, come back out. But this is kind of what blew in last night. We got like 30-mile-an-hour winds, or gusts a little higher around here. But just a little picture of what it's like in the winters up here in Spokane once in a while. But it's due to stay this way for a couple of weeks. Down in the teens and low digits, single digits at night. I think we had like 7 this morning. So it's a little crazy. Okay, this is just to go over some of our layouts, because we did it on pencil and paper in my notebook 5 or 6 times, and now that you get it down is where you figure out, oh, that ain't gonna work and I need an extra inch, so you got to figure out where you can get that inch from. And you think the inch ain't very much, but when everything is as tight as it is in here, an inch is quite a bit. So over here we're gonna do like a 20-inch garage or storage unit out back, so it'll be sealed off from the front actually. And that's its wall there. Then as we come on down, this line in front of the PEX tubing is our edge of our bed. So we'll have the garage and then our bed, and then coming on down here. So across here will be our shower unit, and then the chair right here is where it came from. Time we get another chair, because we set them to where we figured out the best distance. So what it ends up is coming between chair to chair, 16 inches of clearance, and that gives about 5 inches in between your knees. It's going to allow for a 24-inch table, and then right here in this spot, the old heater come up right here. And we still want to use it because it's off the engine, and we'll build a piece of ductwork that's going to force it out underneath the cabinet. So we're going to have a shower, cassette toilet to be inside the shower with access to the outside, and then the cabinet right here, we've got a big blue and gold macaw bird. So up above here will be her cage. And then up on top of that cage will be a cage for the little green guy. What's he?
Oh, he's a dusky conure.
Okay, so the dusty conure. Okay, up on the ceiling here, our exhaust fan. And it'll pull from out of the shower, out of the kitchen and everything. And that's just where we have to have it, because we're going to have 3 solar cells. 315 a piece, I think, and they're 40 inches. So this would be 1 cell here up on the roof, and then cell number 2, and then cell number 3, and it actually come down over here and jump into this chase with the wires, because all of our solar controls and all that would be up on that orange board. So going back to some of our plumbing back here, water and stuff is going to be on this side of our water tank. Over on this side will be like our hot water heater and stuff like that. It'll be under the bed on this corner over here. And one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but in looking at these, not that it was the determining factor, but we have no wheel wells in these. So we don't have to fight with any wheel wells or build around any wheel wells or nothing. The only thing we have in here is the fuel tank. So that's our fillers for our tanks, or tank. We only got one tank, but it's actually a nice size. This got a 55-gallon tank on it. So that, 500 and something miles traveling wise, or pretty close. That's a real good thing. The bad thing is when you have to go in and say, here's $150 for pump number 5. But anyhow, so to get our water from one side to the other, because I don't want to go underneath or nothing, so we just notched out the insulation, and so we'll foam it, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that way, when we build the bed, it'll come out underneath the bed, and that way we can go into the cabinets with it, up to the shower with it, back to the water heaters and stuff like that. This foam stuff we do here, so this gun, like I said, the other style, once you use them, if you don't use it all, you're done, and they'll harden up. This has been in this gun for almost a week now, and I didn't clean it, and so you can see that it's still ready to go. So that's the big plus to buying this gun. And then the bigger can, like I say, the gun's $50, but those other cans at $16 or whatever, a couple of those, and you've paid for this gun, and it don't go bad. It'll last forever. There's only good things about it. If you're doing a lot of this, it's well worth it, because if you work with those other cans, for some reason, sometimes they don't have all the air pressure to push it out, so you still got a half a can of foam in it, but no more air pressure to push it out, so now you've got a lost can. This don't act that way. It pushes it out pretty nice. You do just unscrew this, and you screw on, it's a cleaning fluid, and it'll bowl this all out, and then you can put it into storage. But like, this is just to keep these up solid here. And so this right here, we'll just, before we put the plywood over the top of this will all get foamed in, and there's an adjustment on this too. So if you're doing a little bitty crack, you can turn this way down to where, well, you just got to have a little bit open, where just a little bit comes out. So whether you want a little, a lot, and the other ones, you have no control on that. What comes out, comes out. And like this, as soon as it hardens, what I'll do is just saw the top off. We'll put the plywood over it. So this works, like I say, pretty easy, pretty slick. So that's kind of how that's going to go. And that way this will be insulated. Then the plywood will go over top of it, and that way it's not underneath. The big thing what I do is, when I do something like that, when I used to do radiant floor heat or something, I'll mark it on the wall, and then on the top of my plywood, I'll take like the same fluorescent orange paint that I painted that with, and I'll put a line across here. Because we never remember everything. and it's very easy to say, whoops, oh crap, and then to dig this out and try to fix because I shot a staple in it or run a screw in it ain't no good. So we see that big orange line there, and then our mind goes, and the little light goes off and it says don't put nothing there. So that's how that goes. The tools that I use here to notch this and cut this stuff, I mean, the razor blade works, but it leaves a jagged edge. Just a regular skill saw cuts it real sweet. And for the little cuts and around, this is just one of the little, and this is a battery one, but it just vibrates, and so that works very good for cutting. The peck, a lot of people's going to say, well, you got fittings underneath and you didn't test it. Well, I will put an air test on this. Once I get it done, I'll just tie these two in and put a gauge on it. But the thing with peck, everybody says, be careful of leaks. They don't like doing plumbing because of leaks and this and that. With this system here, with what I use, it's a little more expensive. They got the cheaper clamps, and I think that's where people get leaks. I've probably did thousands of fittings, and not yet has had one leak. The only leaks I get is because of this tool right here. Sometimes between me and this tool, we don't remember to close it and clamp it. And then when you go and get that leak, it's, oh crap, somebody didn't clamp that one. That's the only time I've had any leaks. And this tool right here, yeah, they're expensive. It'll do 3/4 or 1/2 inch. Really, in these van and shuttle bus and bus you don't really need 3/4. Everything can just be done in half, and it just clamps on there. And like what's underneath here right now is just this right here. This is actually copper. So if you look at this close, you can see the little rings, and that slides over there. When that compresses, that squeezes that down onto these rings. And so like that just set right there like this just opens up, and I'm not gonna ruin that fitting, but you just squeeze it, and it's, once it's done to like that, it's set. And then you come over here and do this. Okay, here's the thing too. If you copper solder or something else, I've had these to where they didn't quite line up and had to turn them this much or so, and you still don't get a leak. So I'm not telling you to do that. How do they say? Each individual to their own. Work for me. If it don't work for me, means you screwed it up. They do have fittings that are plastic, and then they've got another fitting here that you hook something on it, and then it squeezes two little titties together. And it's just, I mean, titties are fine, but not for your plumbing. So spend the extra money if you don't want leaks, because things underneath your floor, behind your wall, if it leaks back there later on because you saved $25, even $50, what you might earn might be several $100s worth of stuff. So just up front, I'm just telling you, spend the money, do it. A lot of places now will rent this tool, or if anybody's in the Spokane area and want to borrow it, I'll lend it out, $100 deposit, and you bring it back, you get your $100 back. But it's just one of those professional tools, just like this gun here. Once you invest in it, you've got it forever. Sun's going down, trying to keep warm. We've got this winter storm thing here. It's actually been pretty nice in here. I'm just using this little heater, and we actually been doing 10 degrees outside. So time's getting short, gotta go. Catch you on the next one.